up, y'all? It's Deandra. I'm back with another video for you guys. Sorry it has taken me so long to post, but I had a lot going on. Don't worry about all that. But this week's video is going to be about my journey in nursing so far. I'm going to talk about why I chose nursing, period, what type of nursing school I went to, and just stuff like that. And then on the end, I'm going to speak on lateral violence. Something that all of us as nurses are going to be able to talk about by the end of our careers. It's the sad truth. I don't know if you're going to be involved in it personally or you're going to see it firsthand, but that's why you have me, because I'm going to let y'all in on what's really going on inside these hospitals. So if you're interested, please continue watching. If you're not, click off. I don't want to see none of y'all in my comments with none of this hate, all this hostility. Bruh, if you're a nurse or about to be a nurse, you're going to need to hear this. And if you're already a nurse that don't want to hear it, bye. Because I don't want to see it. I chose to be a nurse as a young child. I always knew that I wanted to do something in healthcare. It wasn't necessarily nursing, just something. I know in kindergarten I dressed up to be a doctor, but I ain't trying to go to middle school right now. I can't afford it. But as a child, like my grandma, she was sick, but she wasn't like ill. And as a family, collectively, I feel like all of us had a role in taking care of her. So I always told her, I was like, Grandma, I'm gonna be a nurse so I can take care of you. I can like clearly remember like being in the kitchen with her and just telling her this. So like as I got older and as she got older, she did become kind of ill. And then when I was about 13 or 14, it was bad. She passed when I was 15, or about to turn 15. But I watched it from start to finish. Like everybody had a hand in taking care of her. And she always said, my little Rosie, I don't know why she called me that, my little Rosie is going to be a nurse and she's going to take care of me. So I just want to kind of follow through with that dream. I know she's like looking down on me and smiling because I made it. We're here, Grandma. But that's really why I got into it. So I chose a non-traditional college. I went to South University here in Columbia. And it's a 4-year degree. It's a bachelor's degree, but I just chose to do it that way because I knew in a traditional college setting, I personally would not have been able to focus. I would have been out there turning up, drinking, the whole night, what college kids do. But I just felt like I needed to be home so I could focus a little bit more because I know how I am. I'm not saying that's for everybody, but if you choose that, there's nothing wrong with doing that. Like, don't let nobody be like, oh, the college experience, this, that, and the third. Girl, however you get your degree is how you get your degree. Okay? Because y'all gonna get to pay the same thing. They gotta go back and say, oh, well, she went here and she went here and it's the same amount, but still, no. Y'all can get paid the same thing. They're not gonna pay you more because you went to a traditional college. So, get it out your head. That's how I survived nursing school. You're gonna definitely need the support and love of the people around you because you're not gonna be the same person. Nursing really takes like dedication. It takes all of your time. It takes understanding from those that are used to like being around you constantly and seeing you in a certain way, if that makes sense. Like if you out turning up with your friends or you go do this, that, and third every weekend, girl, it ain't none of that. You're gonna have to sit down, focus, and really think about what you're doing because nursing takes up your whole entire life. Even as you become a nurse, it takes up 75%. So just be prepared for that. If you're not ready to sit down and commit, maybe it's not for you right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you can't go back and do it later, but you're just gonna have to be dedicated. So, yeah. I chose to work in the NICU because like while I was in nursing school, I did work as a student nurse tech on what is it called? It was like a floor with like total care patients and supposed to be like an acute setting, like they're gonna go home soon, but there was some patients that were there for months. Like, I mean, almost a year, months. And I just decided right then and there that adults was not for me. More so because I can't get past the smells, y'all. Like, that's just being completely honest. Now, I know working in any type of healthcare setting, there's going to be smells, odors, body fluids, stuff that's gonna be like kind of like disgusting to you. But that just wasn't for me, and that's okay. And that's really what I like about nursing, because you really have so many options about what you want to do and where you want to take your career as far as like patient care. I mean, geriatrics, adults, oncology, which can be adults and children, pediatrics, and neonates. So I know I wanted to do something like in labor and delivery area, but then like I thought about looking at vaginas all day. Yeah, no, I can't be worried about nothing but like 3 vaginas, but like it just wasn't for me. So I applied for NICU, and I know they weren't hiring new grads at the time, but when God puts you in a place, can't nobody move you from that place. I applied for that position, and I had my job secured before I even took the NCLEX and before I even walked across the stage. So ain't nobody but God. I've been in a NICU for about 2 years. It was 2 years last October. And what I like about it is that there's room for growth. We have 2 ends. We have the intermediate end, and we also have the intensive end. Now the intermediate end, we have like feeder growers, basically babies that have, you know, passed that critical phase where their life is no longer like in the balance, like if I'm saying that correctly. They're okay, basically. They're just headed out the door, ready to go home. They have to learn to eat. They have to learn to breathe on their own, things like that. There are some babies that we send home with oxygen. So when you first get there, you're working more so in the intermediate end. Of course, you're going to have a preceptor. And you precept for about 6 weeks, I believe. I think so. Okay, so you're going to precept on both ends, but you have 2 different people that's teaching you, because some nurses do choose to work on either end. You kind of decide, like, as you're going, what end really works for you. And then at the end, the unit educator will ask you, well, hey, which one did you like better? So in the beginning, I was choosing the intermediate end because I was absolutely terrified of ventilators. I did not like suctioning on the ventilators. Oscillators are pretty much kind of the same, but the baby is not as mobile as it is on the ventilator, which was also equally terrifying, because when you suction out a baby on a ventilator, to loosen those secretions, you have to shoot saline down, which goes directly into their lungs, which is terrifying because you're watching these monitors and all this stuff is changing. It's like, okay, this baby life is in your hands. You're going to get it back or you're going to let it go down. So coming in, I fed some babies. I let them get fed. I got recognized by several parents. I was just like, oh my God, I love patient teaching. I want to do this for the rest of my life. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, so my 6 weeks go by and it's time to go on the intensive end. What the world? My first ventilator experience was fun because, their patient's life is in your hands. And it's like, when you get in that bed space, you think, okay, God, it's me and you. So my preceptor taught me how to suction. As soon as I shot the saline down, y'all, I'm telling you, the baby was like in the 50s oxygen sat. Heart rate was deteriorating. We like for our baby's heart rate to be about like 160-ish or so. So the baby shot down, heart rate's going into like the low hundreds. All right, we at 90, and I'm just like, oh my God. So I'm suction. And he came back, and that was just a wonderful feeling for me. So okay, I was like, okay, yeah, I do like this end, but I kind of want to like even it out. I don't want to do it like all the time because both sides can be stressful. You don't want to have like 4 bottle feeders on the intermediate end where you have a certain amount of time to get your work done, and then you don't want to have like 2 ventilators and both of them are dying on the intensive end. You know what I'm saying? Not dying, but like very unstable, I should say. So I do really love my job. It's very hectic, it's very stressful, but it's fun, and I really love the type of work that I do as far as parents, as far as babies. I love watching them like expand and grow from the ventilator to taking our bottles to going home. Like watching that full process is like surreal. Like I just love what I do, y'all. So as training goes on, once you're done with precepting on both ends during the day, then they start wanting to transition you to night shift, and you do like a full week, which is 3 nights on night shift in the intensive end, and then boom, you're a night shift nurse. So this is where it went wrong. I had a patient on day shift the day before I went to night shift, and it was a twin. They were 23 weekers, and the baby was like going down. The baby was on dopamine, the baby was on a ventilator. Like, he just was completely unstable, like his heart rate and his blood pressure. We have like 2 blood pressure. You can do like the regular blood pressure, and then you can have the arterial pressure, and that's where the dopamine comes in and kind of regulates that pressure, like to keep the mean arterial pressure at a certain amount. I know that's a lot of big words, but still, that's where we were at with it. And the baby was just going down. I don't know, when I switched out the fluids, did I not change the dopamine quick enough? But I mean, everybody was right there watching me like, okay, you're doing it right. But you know, you always feel in the back of your mind like, okay, it's something I could have done better. But however, the baby's blood pressure was dropping. So I changed the fluids out, got everything good. So his blood pressure went back up. Stats were good. Everything was fine. Okay, so when I was giving a report, the baby just started slowly declining. And then the doctors were in there. Everybody was in there. And it was just like, you know, it's not much more we can do for this baby. But let's call mom, see if she wants to keep going. Call mom. Mom was like, do everything you can, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, y'all, I clocked out. I thought about that baby all night. I was just like, oh my goodness. Okay, so come back to work the next night. It was a day shift. We're coming out to work the next night, and I have the baby's brother. So I was like, why won't y'all give me back my same patient? So I'm looking down the list, and I'm just like, okay, he's not here. Okay, I'm like, what happened to him? And he was like, well, a few hours after you left, he just, you know, there was nothing we can do. We did chest compressions, all his ribs were broken. And that's just the thing that I say, because when you do CPR on a baby that's so small, their bones are like really, really fragile, the ribs do break. We tell all of our parents that. So they have that option to say yes or no. So, I mean, I knew that going in. I was already discouraged. And they gave me the brother. They gave me the brother. And my preceptor, I'm not going to say bad things about her, but I don't know. She just wasn't the best with teaching. I don't know if she was so used to her job where stuff just kind of rolled off her back, or, you know, she was just that insensitive. But I'm coming in with a heavy heart because I really cared about this baby. You know, it's my first really sick baby. And now I have the brother, and it's like, okay, I don't want to repeat. I want to do everything I can for this patient. And I suctioned the baby out on the ventilator, but it took a lot to get him back up because he was so unstable. And I started to get emotional, which anyone would. And my preceptor acted like this was just unheard of. Like, girl, what is wrong with you? And I'm just like, okay, nope, I don't want to do this. This is not for me. I told my unit educator, nope, I don't ever want to be on this end again. Not doing it. And she didn't. Like, they really were compliant with what I wanted to do, and that made me feel really good about my job. Like, okay, they know I'm not comfortable with this, so we're not gonna make her do it, which is a safety issue. And they, you know, they prioritized my feelings on that part, because if somebody's not comfortable doing something, you don't want to make them do it. That's a hazard to themselves and the patient. All right, so the years go by, and I'm like, hey man, I'm getting bored with feeding these babies. I'm tired of having these 4 baby assignments. I want a ventilator. And it's just, it takes time to feel like that. I'm not saying that, you know, you are gonna feel like that, but that's just me. That's just how I felt. And I was just like, okay, let's switch it up. So I went and contacted them, and it was like, okay, let's put me back on this end. Let's try this out again. And I had a new preceptor. I chose my own preceptor this time. This was a girl that I knew from the floor. And y'all, this experience was nothing short of amazing. Like, I got to learn everything. I asked questions, and I don't know if it's because I was more seasoned then, but it was really good. Like, I'm comfortable with everything now except a jet. I have never had a jet. They usually give our jets to the older nurses, ones with more seniority, who have been there for years and who have done everything. Right. On the intensive end, there are some women who do it all the time. They're used to having their NICU assignments every single time they come in, and I understand that. But with new nurses coming in, baby, you gotta step aside and let everybody learn this. You know what I'm saying? This can't be your sole property, because this NICU does not belong to you, honey. So you're talking about teamwork, okay? You take your fair share and go down there with them 4 babies and let the new people have it up here. I'm not saying everybody go down at once, because of course you need a senior person in the room that's gonna like kind of walk the new people through it and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. So lateral violence, let's just get right into it. The definition of lateral violence is displaced violence directed against one's peers rather than adversaries. Alright, I started experiencing lateral violence firsthand when people felt like that I should have stayed in the special care end, because that's what I had been doing, and they had been doing Nikki. Okay, so that's not right, of course, and I'm gonna challenge that, because I'm a nurse and I have just as much right to this NICU as you at this point, because we're both staff nurses. All right, so I would hear little stuff that people were saying about me, and it's all lies. It's like nothing even remotely true about it. And it does start to weigh in on you, because it's like, dang, you know what I'm saying? I came in, I was so nice to everybody. Like, if you know me, y'all know I'm that bubbly. I like to laugh, play, joke around. And I'm just like that with everybody until you show me different. Okay? So these women were saying stuff about me, and it's like, bro, just bring it to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no mean person. I'm not malicious. If you don't like something that I'm doing, or if you feel like I shouldn't be doing this, that, and the third, bring it to me and tell me why. Don't talk behind my back, because it's like now I feel like you're being messy. And that doesn't make a good work relationship possible, because I'm already thinking in the back of my mind, okay, you a snake. So people were saying all types of stuff. I wasn't not clearing my pumps. I wasn't silencing my pumps. And I'm just like, if all of us in the room, we have pods. Everybody's in one pod. If everybody's in the room, I don't understand what the problem is about you catching my pump and putting more time on it, and I catch your pump and put more time on it. It's just like ridiculous little situations that were making no sense. Okay, so when they were brought to my attention, I felt betrayed. I don't know why. Like, these women weren't my friends. I knew that. But at the same time, I felt betrayed. I felt hurt. And I just feel like we too old for this. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why they bitter, but they got a lot of hate up in their heart. And they need to get that up out of there. Because when you a nurse, you have to communicate with your coworkers. You have to be able to have a functional relationship with your coworkers. You get what I'm saying? So, because you can't do it all by yourself. There's going to be some point where you need an extra hand. You know, in any situation that you're doing, you're going to have to be able to call on somebody. And if you burn all those bridges where nobody wants to fool with you, it's really going to make it hard on you. So, dealing with a bunch of women in a setting is difficult. And even though they're telling lies on you and they're not receptive of you as a person, you have to be able to step back from that and look at the bigger picture. Alright, so saying that, I'm going to give y'all a few tips on how I think lateral violence can be handled. Number 1, you can ignore it. I'm not really the type of person that can ignore stuff, because I want to ask you, bro, hey, you said this? Why you said this? You know what I'm saying? Tell me why. Okay, but everybody not the same. So you can ignore it. You can walk away. You can choose to not say anything. You can just act like it's not happening, but that doesn't make it go away. Okay, so at that point, I feel like you need to talk to somebody, your nurse manager, assistant nurse manager, your unit educator, you know, anybody that you feel like you can talk to about the situation that can kind of rectify what's going on. Number 2, you can start doing the same thing they're doing to you. They snitching on you, you can snitch on them. That option is not for me as well. I'm not a snitch. I don't pinpoint and watch people, because I got kids, okay? I ain't trying to watch nobody but them. When I'm at work, I don't care about what you doing, what she doing. Sis, it don't mean that much to me. You know what I'm saying? As long as patient care is not being jeopardized, yeah, no, I don't care. I'm hands off with it. So, and number 3, my personal favorite, you can let them know what's up. You don't have to be malicious. You don't have to go to work cussing nobody out or putting your hands on nobody. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. But you can let them know that, oh, I know. Oh, yes, since I know you went and said this. So to rectify this, drama, I clear my pump, you clear your pump. I stay to myself, you stay to yourself. If your baby dying, I'll come over there and help you. If not, don't say nothing to me. And that's just how I am. And that's not being mean. That's not being nasty. That's just being completely honest and true to who you are. So I'm not saying go in there and be, ready to fight when you get to work. I'm not saying that at all. But maintain your professionalism. Go in there with a smile on your face and just let them know what it is. Like, there's no need to pretend. We're not friends. We don't have to act like friends. But if your baby died, just come get me, sis. Don't talk to me outside of it. And that's just what it is. I think lateral violence occurs because women are bitter. They get old. They get hormonal. They're going through menopause. Their relationship's not really working out that well. Their kids growing up. They got empty nest syndrome. They ugly. They have falling out. They getting fat. Your teeth start to say. I don't know, whatever the case may be, but I really feel like that's why it occurs, because they're watching these new people come in and do stuff that they have been doing, and the doctors are recognizing them for doing stuff like me. We're getting recognized for stuff that they're used to getting recognized for, and it's kind of like a territorial thing. I think it could be hatred for whatever prejudices they may have, and it's just the sad truth about it. So when I am an older nurse, I'm not gonna sit up here and knock the new girl because she new. Girl, I'm gonna help you out, okay? Because I want to see you succeed. No matter, what you think of me, I feel like we should have a good rapport where I can help you and you can be able to listen. As long as that new person is able to listen and understand what I am trying to tell her, we won't have no problems. So when you're in nursing school, they do tell you, okay, nurses eat their young. That is a true statement. That is a true statement if I have ever heard one. I didn't believe it when I was in nursing school, but nurses eat their young. I'm not sure why. I'm not going to be one of those nurses, but they do. And I just feel like they're not ready for change. They're not ready to accept their spots being knocked, if that makes sense, because they're getting older, closer to retiring ages. And they feel, I don't know, some type of way about it. So it's not everybody, I will say. It's not every nurse that's bitter. It's not every older nurse that doesn't want to see the younger ones succeed. There are some older ones that I have met working in the NICU, and they are so helpful. I mean, to the point where they will stop what they're doing, come get in the baby's bed space with you, and tell you, hey, step by step, this is what you need to do. And I like that type of person because I learn by seeing. I learn by doing. And if you can come into my space and walk me through something, that just shows a lot about your character. You know what I'm saying? So it's not everybody. I'm not saying everybody's experience is going to be like my experience. But I'm just letting you know to prepare yourself for whatever may be awaiting you when you get on the floor. If they don't like you, take it with a grain of salt. Okay, sis, you don't like me, I don't like you. We don't got to talk about nothing other than work. And I've said that to a couple of people. But after I've said that, they become a lot nicer. They're still talking behind my back. There's still times where people will tell me that they said something, but they're not saying it to me. So just let it roll off your back. I don't care what you say about me behind my back, sis, because at the end of the day, where God put me, you can't move me. Okay? You go in there with that type of attitude, you'll be just fine. You don't let nobody change how you feel about what you're doing. They're trying to do all that stuff to take your mind off of your goal. You keep your eye on your goal. I mean, you don't even have to be in this setting forever. You can say like, okay, I'm here to learn this, that, and the third so I can go to graduate school. I'm here to learn this, that, and the third so I can work my way up to assistant nurse manager. I'm here for this, that, and the third so I can work myself up to nurse manager, unit director, anything you want to do. Don't let nobody take your mind off of that goal. You keep your mind and your spirit cleansed of the bullshit, and you'll be just fine. I just feel like you have to stay focused, because at the end of the day, the saying is so true as well. When the hate don't work, they start telling lies. And when my nurse managers approach me at this point, I let them know. Don't tell me what you heard. Tell me what you know. If nobody caught me doing this firsthand, red-handed, I don't want to hear about it. Because my patient care is not being affected. My patients are okay. I don't want to hear it. And it's just how blunt you have to be with them. I hope you guys can take this as a learning experience. I hope you can take it throughout your career and it helps you and it benefits you, because it's real out here. I love what I do, but working with a bunch of women is stressful. So I'm just going to put this disclaimer out there. If you in my comments talking about my appearance or my nails or anything like that, please, please, please keep in mind, nurses are regular people. We have a life outside of that workplace, okay? Just because I'm a nurse, when I get home and I'm not in a patient care setting directly, I am going to act, think, and behave like a 24-year-old, because I'm a nurse all the time, don't get me wrong, but I'm not constantly out here with a professional attitude. Dang, I let my guard down sometimes. That's just normal for anybody. If you're a janitor, you let your guard down. I don't see janitors out here walking around with mops all the time. I don't see mechanics out here constantly, let me look under your car, let me look under you. Bruh, chill out. If you one of those people, it's a stage left. I don't want you on here, because I'm responding back to all comments, because y'all getting on my nerves with it. I can have tattoos. I can get my nails done to a certain extent. They can't be very long, but mind your business. If you're not my nurse manager, sis, what's the problem? I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I'm done with it. If you have any stories or any comments you would like to share with me, leave them in the comment section down below. Thumbs up this video and subscribe. I'll see y'all later.